Welcome, Jacinto. How many times have you been welcomed as a rock star on stage?
Never, first time. So.
First time. Happy to share my first time with your first time with you.
Thank you. It's always first time.
Let's start from the very beginning. We might know Wacky. There's some people here who might not know Wacky. Now RakutenTV, maybe you care to give the pitch to them so that they know the whole story?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you all for being here. Story of Wacky. It's a story of a group of people that we thought there was an opportunity. We had experience working on the technology investment environment and telecommunications strategy area, and we thought there was an opportunity, a big opportunity, with internet arriving on TV. That was the big idea that we had. No? And also we wanted to be entrepreneurs. No? We had been venture capitalists, we had been strategy consultants, and we wanted to feel owners of what we were doing every day. No? So we decided the crazy thing of starting a new venture, something related internet to TV, because we saw a big opportunity there. And we saw the Netflix, Voodoo's in the US. So we thought, let's do something similar in Spain, no? In the market where we wanted to come back to live to Barcelona after many years traveling all over the world. So back in Barcelona, and let's start a startup from scratch that addresses the opportunity of internet on TV, doing something that is starting to happen in the US with the likes of Netflix, Voodoo, and some other people. So basically we built Wacky. It took us more than 2 years to build the product. So we developed a video service, multi-platform, no? Over-the-top multi-platform. We reached agreements with all the Hollywood studios. We reached agreements with all the TV manufacturers, gaming console manufacturers, so on and so forth. And we launched the service in 2010. So this was very innovative at that point. There were few companies in Europe especially, but also in the world, that had the agreements, especially with Hollywood, and the technology towards end user to deliver high quality video over the open internet directly to smart TVs and open platforms. No? So we launched in Spain. We operated the service for a bit more than 2 years, and then I met Hiroshi Mikitani, and the Rakuten story happened. No? So that's, in a glimpse, the story of how we started until we got acquired.
Yeah, one of the things is obviously some companies grow through great marketing campaigns. Some companies, they've got a really good team. And one of the things that I think made you great is that great relationship you had with Rakuten, right? Rakuten was actually our first speaker in Startup in Barcelona. And they explained how they expanded to other countries by acquiring companies. So how was the deal, and how, let's say, intrusive was it or not in the relationship with you? Did they keep the company culture? Did they change the team? What decision power have they got over you?
An important thing about Rakuten is that the current CEO is still the founder and the biggest shareholder in the business. No? Mm-hmm. So I think that makes the Rakuten DNA to be a very much of an entrepreneurial type of company. No? Some point in time in our lives, or in my life, I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So when I had the dilemma of selling the business to Mickey, to Hiroshi Mikitani. He wants people to call him Mickey, so it's not me that. The thing that convinced me to sell the business is because his idea of how to make Rakuten a global company is to bring entrepreneurs within the Rakuten enterprise, within the Rakuten company. So, honestly speaking, competing against Netflix, Apple, Google, it's still, unfortunately, difficult from Barcelona, Spain, Europe. So, with a bit of a realistic doses coming from my partner and the proposition of Mickey of creating group of entrepreneurs to make Rakuten a global company, I thought that being an entrepreneur within Rakuten would be a good next step to make RakutenTV a global video player. And the reality is that we have been very empowered by Rakuten, 100% empowered, and the culture of entrepreneurship is very much in the DNA of Rakuten, not only in Japan, but globally.
Actually, I wanted to talk, because there might be people in the audience who have received offers for their companies, and this is probably one of the things that actually we give for granted. People don't share, but it's like, yeah, I sold my company, great. How does that happen? How do you react to first contact by a, I don't know, Japanese company who wants to acquire your company? How do you react? What's your advice for entrepreneurs who should potentially receive these kind of offers?
I mean, I think that you need to think well what you want to do with your life. No? Of course, there is the economic upside on selling a business. No? That is an obvious thing. But also it's true that once you decide to be an entrepreneur, it's difficult to become a corporate professional. No? So if you sell for economic reasons, I think it's important that you have a clear handover plan, no? So you can continue your professional career as soon as possible somewhere, and you can hand over the company to the new buyer as fast as possible. No? But if you want to become part of the new family, I think it's important before you take the decision to spend time knowing each other, no? And aligning the strategy and the vision for the business. So there is one interesting story that Mickey invited me to, not Tokyo, but Kobe, his parents' place, to spend some days there to really understand the culture and why he was doing all what he is doing. No? And that came along very nicely. No? So I think if I can give any advice, I think it's important, if you want to sell the business, for economic reasons only, make sure that you have a clear handover plan as soon as possible, as fast as possible. No? If you want to build together with the acquirer, it's important before taking the decision to spend enough time together. No?
You were actually, you were acquired 2012. Now you have rebranded, and we'll talk later about that. But it seems like you conserve pretty much everything, but you are part of a bigger organization. Waki is part of Rakuten Group and all of that. How did that impact positively in operations, as in like sales or marketing? Did it really boost your performance as a company?
We have not seen yet a big boost in our performance, no? But basically, we sold the business at the end of 12.
Yeah.
So, and we were only present in Spain by that time. In 13, 14, 15, and 16, in these 4 years, we have launched in 12 European countries. No? So today, we are all over Europe, and you know a bit the technology platform required to deliver high video quality in Belgium, in Switzerland, in 12 European countries is really a massive effort that we have done from Barcelona. No? All our technology engineers are here in Barcelona, so we spent 4 years building a new Waki, which was moving Waki from a Spain technology platform to a multi-territory technology platform, and that was a massive effort. That was phase 2 of the life of Wacky. Now we needed to build a brand not only for Wacky in Europe, but also for all the Rakuten ecosystem. So in 2017 has been the year where we have decided to push the Rakuten brand. This is why we have done the FCB sponsorship, and this is why all the Rakuten companies have rebranded to Rakuten something. No? In our case, RakutenTV, but e-commerce, Rakuten Shopping, books, Rakuten Kobo. So there will be there is a rebranding of all the group companies. No? So we are now in the phase where we need to build a global brand, including RakutenTV, and create the ecosystem of services, which is the USP of Rakuten in Japan that we are trying to export into Europe and US.
And that was a great explanation. And you literally gave me the past years. Why did you guys decide to go for the sponsorship for FCB, for Barcelona?
Again,
what does it have to do?
Rakuten so many people don't know that Rakuten Japan, there is 3 verticals. No? You have the e-commerce,
yep.
You have financial services, so like online banking, securities, credit card, online payment methods. So that's second pillar of the business. And the third pillar is entertainment. No? And entertainment, we own Showtime in Japan, we own lots of things. And among the things that we own in Japan, on the entertainment vertical, it's a football team and a baseball team. No? And those are Rakuten Eagles and Rakuten Kobo. So those, Kobe Bissell and Rakuten Eagles. So these 2 sports teams help Rakuten to expand the Rakuten brand in Japan massively, no? Because we had the experience of sports marketing and sports branding being a way to create or to attribute certain values to the brand. No? So this strategy that worked for Rakuten in Japan is what we are trying to replicate in Europe and the US with the sponsorship of Barcelona in Europe and Warriors in the US. No? The idea is using sports and the values that the sports generate among fans to create a global brand in these 2 regions, Europe and the US. Barcelona, there is a bit of influence on the team in Barcelona that we have tried to push for Barcelona instead of other teams, and also that the reality is that Barça is not only successful, but very unique football team, no? Because of the the style of how to play football, well. No? The values, no? How to play football, no? Making sure that having fun, it's also part of the equation. It's not only about winning, but also having fun. And then the concept of empowerment, no? So Barcelona, one of the things, La Masia, it's about making sure we recruit young players, that then we grow them, and they become eventually the best player in the world, like Messi, no? So that concept of empowering local businesses, local societies, communities, that's also in the DNA of Rakuten, no? So those are the reasons for the sponsorship.
We've had this morning, we've got Cantox, and we discussed, they sponsor a Formula 1 team, a really weak one that was in the last budget and all of that. You guys sponsor FC Barcelona. Do you advise all the entrepreneurs in the room to sponsor FC Barcelona? Does it pay off?
No, I mean, if you are an entrepreneur, you don't sponsor a big like this, especially because it's a bit too expensive. But if you are an entrepreneur, I think the product comes first. No? So it's about building something which people love, that people want. No? Product comes first, in my opinion, always. Then, to win, once you have the product, to win credibility and values on a global basis, it's about investing on sponsorship or advertising or these things. No? But I think product comes first always.
Have you done any, like, any marketing strategy or product strategy, because thinking really outside of the box, like something really uncommon that other companies don't do that you want to share? Or
Basically, we don't do marketing, no? So that's probably
that's probably a good one.
that is the one. We don't do marketing because our marketing
It's the
strategy
product.
from the very beginning was to make sure that any smart TV in Europe that you buy and that you open up, the recommended movie service is Wacky, now RakutenTV. No? So this is how we demonstrated from the very beginning a viable business model. No? We didn't invest on marketing. We invested on securing that the recommended service, if you now buy Samsung 4K HDR Ultra Plus in any country in Europe, the recommended service for movies is us, Netflix for TV shows, and YouTube for AVOD. No?
You're a really technological company, and one of the hot topics lately is hiring developers. You seem to have been doing great hiring developers back in the day. You still are, but have you sensed that it's more competitive nowadays, and what is your strategy for attracting developers to your company?
It's more challenging, definitely. Before, we didn't have the brand, we didn't have the financial resources. Now we have the brand, we have the financial resources. Our strategy first is to make sure that anyone from anywhere in the world can work in RakutenTV in Barcelona. I think we have 11 or 12 nationalities, no? From all over the world. And I think that broadens the span of people that love to have a professional experience in Barcelona in an international company. No? So that is giving us access to great talent all over the world. No? And second is making sure that we have a great product. No? So people work on developing a great product with great partners like the Hollywood studios and the TV manufacturers, and then trying our best to train and develop the people, no? The engineers, which is always challenging.
And I wanted to ask, because obviously now you've got the infrastructure, you've got the capital to hire all these people from all over the world, but at the beginning you didn't. How did you do it back then? How did you recruit your first hires? And
so basically, the first technology team was part of the founding team. No?
Yeah.
So that is the starting point always. And then we recruited back in 2008. The competition was not the same like now, no? But we recruited based on emotions, illusion, project. No, I mean, I still do. I recruit. I talk to all the people that we recruit, no, personally, and I try to explain our values, why we are doing it, and all what I say is, look, if you want to work in a stable environment with everything clear, relaxing hours, go somewhere else. If what you want is to...
you're very honest.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, people there know that after 1 hour there. So if you really, if you really enjoy the challenge of competing against the biggest companies in the world with less resources and thinking out of the box and trying always to find a way to do things, then if you enjoy that challenge and complications and nightmare, this is your place. No? And
that's very good, because some companies say like everything's going perfect, there's no overtime, that you can work from wherever you want, and that it's not completely not like that. So at least you're very upfront about that. How do you think your company culture at Wacky affects your hiring? Do you think, sorry, RakutenTV now, it affects your hiring positively? Do you think it attracts more people because they know what there is?
I don't know if it attracts more people, but I think it attracts the right people, no? Because many of the engineers at the very beginning, they are still with us. No? Some of them have left, great engineers, but when I think now of the most senior people in our technology department, most of them come from the very beginning. No? So I think that shows that that culture. So there are people that enjoy the challenge, and that people are comfortable in RakutenTV now. No? So I don't know if this attracts more people, but the people that come stay longer and happier, I will say.
I would like to give a little bit of overview of, obviously, the main topic of the conference is the comparison between Barcelona and San Francisco, and we're giving good things about Barcelona and bad things. Can you say, like, what's the best thing for you as an entrepreneur about having started in Barcelona, and what's the worst thing? One thing that you didn't expect, probably.
So the best thing to start up something in Barcelona, the best one is the quality of life. No? So basically, it's not the same to be in a rainy, gray, with bad food, very expensive type of city.
You mean London? Sorry, I think there's somebody from London, but.
That being in a city where you can enjoy quality of life and have a professional challenge at the same time. No? That's very good. Also, it's very good the fact that there are opportunities of doing things in Spain, Europe, that have been initiated or successful in other parts of the world. No? That's probably the best thing. The worst thing of Barcelona, in my opinion, is that the access to capital and the exit alternatives are far more limited when you go to San Francisco. No? And when you want to compete in a global world and you need to go for big rounds, that's a challenge from Barcelona. No? And when you think about the exit strategy or the exit alternatives from Barcelona in comparison with San Francisco, that's a big challenge. No?
Before we wrap this up with the last question, I would like to ask you, we are Startup Grind, you know us already. How can we help? One of the biggest values we've got at Startup Grind is helping each other, or helping others before helping ourselves. How can we help RakutenTV?
We can help to the...
How can we help you?
You can help buy lots of movies on RakutenTV.
That's a good one.
That's a good thing. I think building so as you saw in the news, probably RakutenTV now we also not RakutenTV, Rakuten. We also have a venture capital. No?
Oh, yeah.
So we invest in entrepreneurs. We invest in innovative projects. For RakutenTV to succeed, our main competitors are Apple with iTunes and Google with Google Play. We need to invent things. We need to do things better, out of the box. And if we only use the 150 heads that we have in our office, that is limited power against the thousands of employees that Apple or Google have. But if we create an ecosystem of entrepreneurs in Barcelona or close to Barcelona that can come to myself and say, look, I have this great idea of a project that can help RakutenTV to be better than iTunes or Google Play, that will be great for us.
Last question to wrap this up is, obviously you're a Barcelona fan. We all are Barcelona fans if you like football. But if we win the Champions League this year, how big will the party at RakutenTV be?
You are all invited, so you can discover there.
Mark these words, it's on video. All right, everybody, give it up for Jacinto Roca.